Michael Katz from the Northeast Mississippi Journal comes in to talk Sugar Bowl. There's rumors of it happening. We'll confirm with Michael Katz. This is the Locked On Ole Miss podcast.
You are Locked On Ole Miss, your daily podcast on the Ole Miss Rebels. Part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day.
Welcome to the Locked On Ole Miss podcast. I'm your host, Stephen Willis. This is the most watched Ole Miss podcast out there, and we appreciate you tuning into us. I'm your host, Stephen Willis, a 10-year veteran member of the national media with Yahoo Sports and a former Ole Miss staff member as well. We're going to be joined in just a second by Michael Katz of the Northeast Mississippi Tupelo Daily Journal to talk Sugar Bowl with Michael Katz in New Orleans. So rumors is it's chilly down there. So this is very, I guess, unseasonably. I'm not sure what the winter temperature is in New Orleans, but we're going to talk about the game, talk about what has happened at practice over the last couple of days, generally have a conversation about the bowl game. Remember, we're free and available on all the podcast apps and on YouTube, and a special hello to the insiders and everydayers who make the show what it is, and that is your team every day. Today's episode is brought to you by Game Time. Download the Game Time app, create an account, use code LOCKEDONCollege for $20 off your first purchase. Michael, really, let's just jump straight into the fire. Tell me what's going to happen.
If I knew that, I don't think I'd be doing this. I'd live in Vegas or I'd be a fortune teller. I've really gone back and forth on this game. One, like, we've already seen it happen, right? And literally Ole Miss was a tackle away from winning that game. That was obviously, the fourth quarter offense left something to be desired. I think they had 13 yards, but they were moving the ball up and down the field. They made that Georgia defense look like nothing in the first three quarters. So my head is like, obviously, Georgia's the SEC champion. They're playing really, really well right now. There's no question. They are playing their best ball, and they have gotten better. But Ole Miss has gotten a lot better too since then. So I don't know, man. I'm kind of in toss-up territory. I could really see this one going either way. I know that's like the cheapest way out. But I felt pretty good that Ole Miss was going to beat up Tulane. I didn't think it was going to be by 30 again, but it felt like a several score game. This one feels close either way, and I really don't know. I think so much of it's going to depend on if the Ole Miss can get its running game going. That was the one thing that was really missing offensively in that last game. Quinshon had one of his worst days of the year, if not his worst, rushing-wise. If they can get that, man, they got to like their odds. And this is kind of their postseason home away from home. So there's going to be a lot of Ole Miss fans here. Obviously, there's going to be a lot of Georgia fans here. I don't think this team is ready for it to be over yet. So I have no idea what's going to happen is my answer.
Well, the one enjoyable part that I had this week, and whoever decided to send him in front of the press deserves $1 or something. So whoever decided to do that should get paid. But Will Eccles was pretty fantastic. And it's like, what do you remember that game? It's like they didn't punt. And he was deadpan serious and everything. It's like, oh, my goodness, they're locked in. And my little birds that are flying around the Oxford campus are sitting there saying the energy on the defensive side of the ball this week has been off the charts. And that makes sense because you look at the film of the last time that happened, it kind of was like, hey, that's kind of hitting your pride a little bit. And I'm willing to say that this game, the first one might have been 43-35. This game will be in the low 20s is my prediction.
I could see that. I could also I don't know, with these teams, like sometimes the quarterback becomes the best player in the country for a day. You know what I mean? Like, yeah. There's so much talent on both sides of the ball for both teams. I could see this game going so many different ways. But I will say I'm the one who asked Eccles that question, and the second he answered, I just kind of chuckled. I was like, good, that's the right answer. He literally just said them not punting. And I was like, okay. All right, we're done. All right, we're moving on. But yeah, man, I mean, he and TJ Daugherty have been two of the guys that we've talked to a lot over these last few weeks, and personal is a word that came up. I think Eccles said it after the Tulane game. He said this one kind of feels personal because, again, you were one stop away. You were stride for stride with one of the best teams in the country. You had a chance to be undefeated, and you just came up short. And that's a game that it shouldn't have even come down to that. There were missed tackles. There were bad angles. There were guys running wide open down the field. It was just uncharacteristic of what we've seen of this team since, for the most part. So, listen, Georgia is really good, and they know that. Ole Miss is very respectful of the opponent. But, if you're going to see someone twice, there's pride involved. They don't want the last impression people have of them against Georgia to be what happened the last time they played in Athens. I think that there is a lot of pride. This team has a lot of pride. We've seen that all year. They have been unbothered by all of the outside stuff. They are very motivated from within. And I think this is one of those instances where, it's the playoff. It's the quarterfinals. If you need motivation at this point, there's a problem, right? But this team is so internally motivated, and I think this is just another example of, listen, they might not win, but it ain't going to be for lack of effort. They are going to come out guns a-blazing.
Yeah, and I was talking with a guy that helps out on my channel. It's a high school football coach in Tennessee. And he said it's going to be important for Charlie Weiss against Georgia because he has a background in Georgia as well. He worked on Mark Richt's staff. And he said that they need to script some chaos in the first 15 plays. And he said, don't run a double reverse pass. That's not what I'm talking about. But if there is some tendency when you get in a certain formation, Georgia is going to be over-prepared for that. It's a good idea for one or two plays in that 15 to have a tendency breaker. If you run inside zone 90% of the time from this formation, maybe switch it to outside zone or throw in a screen pass, something simple. And I was thinking about that, and it's like, that is absolutely true because the one thing that Georgia is the most over-prepared team in the entire country.
Yeah, I mean, they're going to know everything that you want to do. They are so disciplined and so well coached. Yeah, and I mean, I do think too, and Pete brought it up a couple weeks ago when he said, I have no problem with Charlie calling plays for us because Charlie needs this to go well for him too. He needs people to know that he's not just a process of Lane Kiffin in his ear all the time, right? Like I think this is still really big for Charlie in his career. I mean, if they put up 40 on Georgia this time, Charlie Weiss is going to get the credit. I think there's a lot for him at stake here too. Still, I know it's, he's got one foot out the door, and I imagine that's, some awkward situations, but hey, he's still trying to make a name for himself too, for his, whatever he wants to do, going forward in his career. So I think this is really big for him. And I do agree that if you, Georgia has seen every play that you have run they've seen it all. They know everything that you have done. What better time to throw them off the scent a little bit? I agree. I think that could be huge.
All right. When we come back, we will talk about some of the names that got made official. We're talking with Michael Katz on the Northeast Mississippi Daily Journal. We'll talk to him as soon as we come back from this. Fridays always feel different during basketball season, and FanDuel is making them even better. Every Friday night before games tip off, FanDuel gives fans a new way to kick off the weekend with NBA Happy Hour. NBA Happy Hour is your official pregame, a limited time window where special offers drop right inside the FanDuel app before the action starts. Fridays from 6 to 7:30 Eastern Time have become appointment viewing with NBA Happy Hour. Opening the FanDuel app during happy hour always brings something new, either boost or bonus or surprises. It's easy to check the weekly special before tip-off and make a move before the window closes. The timing is perfect, right before the games, right before the weekend starts. It adds extra energy to Friday night basketball without overthinking it. So before tip-off, check the FanDuel app to see what's dropping during NBA Happy Hour every Friday from 6 to 7:30 Eastern. A little basketball, a little action, and a whole lot of Friday energy. That's NBA Happy Hour only on FanDuel, the official sportsbook partner of the NBA. Do us a favor, like, subscribe, and comment on this video. Subscribe to the podcast on whichever audio podcatcher you're listening to it on, and give it a 5-star review. It costs absolutely nothing, but it helps keep all of this for free. And thank you for making Locked On Ole Miss your first listen of the day, and thank you for making Locked On the #1 sports podcast network in America. That's all on you. You already live your team every day. Now take it to the next level and go ad-free. Join the Everydayer Club and get Locked On Ole Miss with no interruptions, members-only Discord access, and more, all for just $5 per month or $50 per year. Go to lockedonolemess.supercast.com or check the link down in the show notes to learn more. All right, Michael. Ole Miss had a slew of hiring announcements that came out at pretty much the same time, and one thing is in common with all those guys on the next day. They all have seemingly LSU ties. These two programs are becoming almost, incestuous at this point.
Yeah, it's really funny. Again, it's stuff that like we knew was coming, but I love how it's like, welcome back, so-and-so. I'm like, yeah, because this person left and then they went over there and now they're coming back. It is very funny because LSU did the same thing a few days before with all their staff announcements with Charlie and Kevin Smith and all those guys. But yeah, no, it's these programs, as long as Lane is there and as long as Pete is at Ole Miss, are kind of going to be tied together for a bit in terms of measuring stick and who's having more success at a certain time and how those staff decisions pay off. Obviously, Frank Wilson got done with his game, and the next day is announced is coming to Ole Miss. So it is quite funny to see the it's a wife swap situation.
Yeah, and is this playful ribbing between the two schools, or is there something real here? Because there's shots seemingly taken from both sides.
I don't know how playful it is at this point. I think it's pretty genuine. I mean,
I like when Pete got the job, he said, there's like, I don't do hot yoga. I don't do that. I'm not going to do all this stuff. And I mean, that was clearly a shot.
Oh yeah. No. And then, Lane during the Texas Bowl saying that, we have the best offense in college football and none of the players are from Mississippi. I believe he said something along those lines. And it's like, okay, man, like this is going to go back and forth forever.
Yeah, which is, by the way, his fault. The #1 player in Mississippi is at wide receiver sitting at,
Yeah, it is in a way a self-own, but
yeah, because that's his side of the ball. It's like, hey, let's go get all the players from Pike Road, Alabama, because that high school, is silly.
Yeah, I mean, listen, you had Deuce Knight, listen, you got Caleb Cunningham, and that's great. That was a huge win last year. Obviously, I think his career is going to unfold. I think he's going to be a really good player. But there's been a lot of really good quarterbacks and running backs and guys who have gone abroad, let's say, under Lane's watch. And if you look at the really good players who have stayed, a lot of them have been on defense. And I don't think that's a coincidence.
Including Ole Miss's whole defensive line.
Yep.
So, yeah, it is absolutely weird of what's going on. And like Frank and those guys, they're going to be in New Orleans for this. They're working, right?
I don't know if they are. I think they're sort of behind the scenes. So it's kind of a weird situation. It's like same with John David Baker. I think he's sort of like he's in the building, obviously. But I don't think he's doing a ton of prep. I think the biggest thing is getting out on the recruiting trail for those guys. I think that's huge.
I think everybody used to always point is like, oh, he's doing 4D chess right now and all this. And I do think Pete's doing a little bit of that now because the new staff is already working on retention before the transfer portal, which that is 3 days specifically for one person for Frank to talk to.
Yes.
That's what that's about.
I wonder who you could be talking about.
Yeah. So I'm sure they're handling that, but he's going through recruiting for the transfer portal and retention. Everything is for 2026 for those guys, but the other staff is all finishing up this run. So it is kind of like a little 4D chess.
Yeah, no, there's a lot going on right now. A lot of ships passing in the night currently at the Manning Center, I'd have to imagine.
Yeah, it's so weird. It's so weird to see exactly how it's set up.
It was, I will say, it was really weird. Like, seeing, we get the announcement from LSU the other day, like, welcome Charlie Weiss and welcome Kevin Smith. And I just saw them at practice wearing Ole Miss stuff. It's all very weird. It's odd. And I understand it's a business, but it is a little weird.
You know of any other names that or to keep an eye on? Because I think there's a tight end position still available. There's a linebacker position.
Yeah, I have not heard a ton on those fronts. I'm sure those will probably really get into it in whenever this season ends, or probably maybe a bit closer to the portal. I feel like they're probably going to want things finalized by the time the portal opens. That feels like probably a good time to have most of your staff ready. I mean, they have most of it, obviously, but a few things here and there. But listen, they've got one of the best recruiters in the country on staff now. I think they feel pretty good.
Yeah, good grief. I'm listen, we always talk about shots and stuff like that and the things going back and forth, but the staff that Pete Golding has put together specifically to recruit Louisiana is almost a shot into itself.
Yeah, I mean, and I know that listen, I understand that Louisiana to an extent recruits itself with your LSU, right? But there's a reason that Frank Wilson was named the National Recruiter of the Year like twice. I mean, that's not an accident. As great a job as LSU is at recruiting itself, Frank Wilson did an amazing job.
And LSU doesn't recruit itself. They may tell themselves that, but it doesn't, because 13 years before Nick Saban got to LSU, they had nine losing seasons. So if you don't pay attention to it, if you don't water the flowers, the flowers are going to die.
No, for sure, especially when there's someone right next door who wants to water those flowers very badly and take them across state lines.
Yeah, it should be pretty interesting. All right, when we come back, we will talk to Michael about, I don't know, what's going on this week in New Orleans for the fans, the things he's heard about that, what's going on with the check-in for the Sugar Bowl, all the stuff around the game besides the game. We will talk about that in just a second, so stick around. There's nothing like college football season, tailgates, packed stadiums, being right there in the middle of it all. The energy, the bands, the moments you remember forever, but actually it's about getting tickets, right? That part used to be frustrating with long queues, logins, and prices jumping in checkout. That's why Game Time gives the advantage back to fans. It's the easiest way to unlock amazing football tickets and experiences with just a few taps. I opened up the Game Time app to look at a couple of the upcoming football games, including the Sugar Bowl, and was surprised how quickly I was able to see some great seats. The app is incredibly easy to use. I went from browsing to buying tickets in just under a couple of minutes. Take the guesswork out of buying college football tickets with Game Time. Download the Game Time app, create an account, and use the code LOCKEDONCollege for $20 off your first purchase. Terms apply. Again, that's code LOCKEDONCOLLEGE for $20 off. Download the Game Time app today. All right, so Michael, real quick, Michael, what's going on right now?
Am I gone? Am I gone?
No, I can hear you. Am I just
a voice?
Yeah, just a voice right now. Just one
maybe
second.
it's for the best. Maybe it's for the best.
Let's see. I'm gonna take you out and bring you back in. All right, that didn't work. All right. So what do they have going on around the Sugar Bowl this week?
So tomorrow is a media day where they basically give us 50 players. We don't know which ones, but I have a feeling there will be some typical suspects. They basically sit around for 45 minutes and we do speed dating with them basically and just talk to all of them. So that'll be good. It's a good chance to get some unique stuff if you have unique lines of questioning, which is my favorite thing. Then I believe Wednesday, obviously, we have the two helmets on the stage press conference. I think it's at the same place too, all at the media hotel, which is quite lovely. They have a Pac-Man machine, which is huge for me. I've already started playing in the media suite.
Is it the Pizza Hut style Pac-Man or is it just a Pac-Man?
It's one of the ones that has like Galaga on it too. It's like a combo. It's got a little everything.
So it's not like the table where you're looking.
Oh yeah, no. It's a stand up. Oh yeah, no, it's a stand up. So that's awesome. Love that for me. And then there's obviously a bunch of stuff going on in terms of parades and all that kind of stuff. If there's one thing I know, it's that New Orleans is going to do this thing right. But I will be working, I assure you. Starting tomorrow at 8 a.m. is when interviews start.
Let's see. This will be your second Sugar Bowl with Ole Miss, right? Cover.
My first bowl game here was the Sugar Bowl.
So, just a little history lesson. There was the one game with Hugh Freeze in 2016, but before that, the last player of note that went to the Sugar Bowl was Archie Manning. And you talk about that big gap between Archie Manning and that Hugh Freeze Sugar Bowl, and now all of a sudden you're like going every third year. It's crazy.
Yeah, no, it is pretty insane that I guess my fifth season, it will have been 3 New Year's Six / CFP games. I mean, that's pretty wild. 2 Sugar Bowls and a Peach Bowl. And, last year might've been the best team of them all. And I was in beautiful Jacksonville, but that's a conversation for another day.
Yeah, absolutely nuts. One thing's interesting. If Ole Miss can get the win in the Sugar Bowl, you have roughly a week, and then the game's out in Glendale, Arizona. You going to that?
I have started scanning situations. It is a 22-hour drive, so it will probably be a flight. Listen, if they're in the semis, you got to go, right?
Well, how far is it away from your home is my point.
Oh, that's actually it would, if I flew home, it would only be about a 6-hour drive from home. But I would have to fly home. So it's still a little ways out there, but we'll cross that bridge if we get there. It'd be a good problem to have to keep covering them.
Yeah, I just have a feeling whenever you just sit there and looking at it, it's just a feeling. It's like what's going on, all that. I think there's going to be an inspired Ole Miss effort in this game.
Yeah, I mean, if there were ever any questions what this team is going to look like under Pete Golding, listen, I understand that it's going to look totally different next year when he's running it from the start. But if nothing else, this team was really inspired last week or a couple weeks ago against Tulane. Now you've got a revenge game with a chance to be one of the last 4 teams standing. I mean, this is a team that has been very proud all year of what it's accomplished somewhat under the radar. I think this is another opportunity for them to show people they were more than a coach. This is a team that was really good because of its players too.
Yeah, and it's crazy to think about how much of the country is going to be rooting for Ole Miss in this game.
Yeah, no, and it's crazy, the idea of Ole Miss being America's team, but I think that if you are an unbiased, if you didn't go to Georgia, or you're not, a Georgia fan, if you followed the saga of everything that's happened to Ole Miss over these last couple months, they are sort of that scrappy underdog that I think people kind of gravitate towards, and it's not a position that a lot of teams find themselves in, especially one that, this isn't a team that, was 500 and got in the playoffs in like the NFL and then went on a run. Like, this was a team that won 11 games in the regular season. This is a really good team that I think people are finally figuring out wasn't just the guy who's in Baton Rouge. It's a team that is really good on its own. And I think that given everything that happened, I think people are sort of gravitating towards this team and their stories, and Trinidad and Kiwan and all of these guys who came from these other places for, a year, however long it is that they're going to be at Ole Miss, to prove themselves. And I think that this is another step in them proving themselves. And I think people like that story.
All right. What do you got going on at the Daily Journal this week, man?
Just nothing going on here, obviously. I'm just gonna be on Bourbon Street. No. Again, the media day thing I think is going to be really cool tomorrow, because it's an opportunity. If they're putting 50 players out there, there's going to be one-on-ones with somebody. So get some one-on-one opportunities, do that. So all the typical preview stuff. I'm hoping to, if the stars align correctly, do a cool sort of column-y feature with the one-on-ones I do, but I don't want to get my own hopes up yet. So we'll see how that goes. But some good stuff planned, and obviously we'll have everything for pregame, and we'll have you everything that you need for game day, and whatever happens after.
Yeah, if my opinion, I think you should start with Oscar Bird and go from there.
I mean, he is electric. He's electric,
and everybody's going to go to skill players and players. Names they know, and you can one-on-one that one like crazy.
No, the move is to go to Trinidad last, right? After everybody's already gotten him.
Yeah.
Because everyone's going to go there first.
Yeah, and you have to have that unique question that hasn't been asked by somebody else.
100%. And like the good thing is, like, I know Trinidad a little bit now. I know his family. I know his legendary coach from Ferris State. Shout out Tony Anise. We love Tony Anise. He's so good. He's so good. I'll walk up with something a little bit different, hopefully get him smiling, and then we can go from there.
All right. Thank you very much for stopping by, and we'll talk to you next week, bub.
Yeah, sorry you lost my face there, but maybe that was for the best. But I hope the audio was okay.
Yeah, everybody was just disappointed that it wasn't my face that got lost. But we appreciate it, bub.
Yep.
All right. Thanks for tuning in today to the Locked On Ole Miss podcast. We're going to continue to talk about Ole Miss versus Georgia in the Sugar Bowl all week, so make sure you subscribe and follow the show so you get all the episodes. We're on all the social channels as well, so check that out. And also, did Locked On Ole Miss make your Spotify Wrap? Prove it on social media and secure a free month of our brand new Everydayer Club. Just tag our National Locked On Podcast Network account on any social platform, and they'll drop the code. Be one of the first to join the Everydayer Club to get your favorite show ad-free and exclusive access to the members-only Discord channel. For those of you on video, we will send you to the first ever 24/7 National Locked On Podcast Network YouTube channel. On audio, make sure you find a second listen on either Locked On College Football or Locked On SEC. Hotty toddy, just a couple of days away from an absolutely massive football game. Hotty toddy, everybody.